Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
Anything new? Anything new going on?
Not much. The boys are over in Jupiter today, which is about almost a 3-hour journey, and you go right through the middle of the state, and you get to go right below Okeechobee there with the Belle Glade and LaBelle and some of these other somewhat shaky towns, and then you hit Jupiter, and you got a different economic situation when you arrive in Jupiter than you do as you're driving through the jungle.
We were watching the ball game yesterday, Patrick, and the wife looks at me and she says, "We're going next year." She's sick of winter already.
Well, you know what? And it's become more of just going down there to avoid winter and enjoy the sun because you get to see real players for about 20 minutes out of 4 hours. It's unbelievable. The big difference is they now have, when Joe was going to spring training, the Twins minor leaguers were in Melbourne, 2 hours away, right? Now they're 100 yards away, and they, in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, they start playing guys that aren't even on the roster, So but the thing is, they've taken so many tens of millions of dollars from the public, from the taxpayers and from the counties and stuff, that they have to play 30-some games, which they certainly don't need to, but they have to do it to let these people have a chance to get some of their money back.
Yeah, but at some point, will these towns begin to demand that you got to play some of your good guys?
Well, it doesn't. It used to be that. Yeah, you probably were around when the Yankees. We'd tell them that the Yankees were coming to town, and they'd get their only good crowd of the year at Tinker Field, and then no Maris, no Mantle, none of the big boys would be there, and Calvin would go nuts. Well, now I think they all just. I think it's become a completely different deal. As Chris said, it's to go down, enjoy the sun, have an $8 beer, and spend. And if you leave early, which I often do because I'm done writing, if you leave in the 5th inning, if you're in a crowd, man, nobody sticks. They come for the pregame and the hooting, hollering, and saying hello to friends in the sunshine, and then they leave. They don't really care what's happening.
Is the Tampa ballpark that they were at yesterday, is that nicer than Tropicana Field? Because it looked pretty nice on TV. I've never seen it in person.
Port Charlotte is not. It's kind of by Florida standards, it's low rent, and it's only 14 miles from the one in Northport now, which is the Braves' brand new $140 million thing. So.
Where the Twins are playing today, I think they're playing St. Louis. I know exactly where that park is.
And they got 2 teams over there.
Yeah.
They got the Marlins and the Cardinals, and they spent a whole bunch of money to because for a long time it was as 2 team facilities went. It was pretty low budget, but I haven't seen it since they redid it, but I guess they did.
That place isn't 10 minutes from PGA Champion.
No, it's right there.
It's right there.
No, it's where
it's
interesting.
Sanjay Im won yesterday.
Yes.
Is that how you say his name, Sanjay?
You know what? I think the golfers hate that golf course, but I love watching it.
I do too.
There's trouble, man. There's the wind's blowing. There's trouble.
I like that course.
You hit it in the water, and a guy's coasting to a 3-stroke victory, and all of a sudden he hits it in the drink, and he's fighting to get in the playoff.
Every year I pick 5 people who have yet to win a major, and my bet to my friends and relatives is one of these 5 is going to win a major. I'm not claiming
one of your guys.
I'm not claiming which 5, and I'm not claiming which major. But Fleetwood will not be among my 5 this year. He can't
keep it together.
Can't keep it together.
No, he's a good player. Him, now he's the chubby Korean, right?
Yes.
He's there because there's several of them, but he's the one. He's the one that's easy to like because he's out of shape.
Yeah, he's
So-
a big boy.
Yeah, he is, but he can. He's only 20 or 21. So
Yep.
21.
Yep.
21. He's a good player, but I didn't see the finish yesterday because I was at the ball game. But I do like watching that golf tournament.
I do too. Why
Or
did the
by
Timber?
speaking of chubby golfers, that guy Lumpy, man, he isn't exactly off to a flying start on with the seniors.
I predicted that wasn't going to be easy.
No,
These are all
'cause
great players.
Plus, it's putting. It's
Yeah.
putting, and that was never Lumpy's number one strength. That's for sure.
You know, we were talking about these spring training towns. We're trying to get a little money back from their investment, so you got to play 30 games. Why were the Timberwolves fined the other night for not playing D'Angelo Russell?
Well, I didn't even see that.
Oh, this is great, Patrick. So,
So what?
a lot of the teams, Joe, a couple of years ago, I believe it started with Popovich. They would start doing what they call load management.
Management.
Where they would rest
I
guys.
don't think Pop ever used that word.
No,
but
he
somebody
didn't.
had to come up
Yeah.
with a. He just said, "Yeah, I'm not playing. I don't want him to. I want him to
Well, in
get some
fact,
rest."
you know how it started, Pat? Remember he put on the lineup card or whatever they submit a DNP for Tim Duncan. He put DNP-old.
Old, yeah,
Didn't even put an
right.
injury. So
Yeah, right.
that's how a lot of the teams have gotten away with reducing the minutes on their players. Well, the Timberwolves were just dumb enough to not even declare that he might have an injury. They just
they
said
see.
he ain't playing.
Yeah, it was load management.
Load
So they
management.
got fined.
Yeah, they got
Why do you
popped.
got
And-
load management on a team that's won about 3 games?
How about did Dallas last night say Doncic didn't play? Opponent stinks. Is that what Can you say that? Dash. We don't need him to beat these jerks.
We're good enough.
Yeah, we could beat these guys. Why did they have a full house?
I think they did a
Must
youth
have given some youth. Yeah, must have
because
been something.
my
Couldn't-
second graders involved in a reading program that the Timberwolves sponsor, and that was one of the games where they give tickets to if you read at a certain achievement level and whatnot.
Oh, okay. So there
was a ton of youth. Yeah.
$1 ticket or something. I knew it couldn't have been interest.
Well, especially since the Wilds were at home yesterday too.
Yes, did
Losing
the
to the Capitals.
I bet I got to ask you about this, but I bet the Wild filled her up easy yesterday
No,
too,
they
right?
still were
Those
listed in that 17,000,
Oh,
not
really?
the
Those
18 plus.
those Sunday afternoons.
No,
are
it
the
was
big
Sunday,
ones.
7 p.m. It was a MSNBC game, national.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not MSNBC, but NBC Sports.
NBCSN.
There you go.
NBCSN.
I think Rachel
206
Maddow would do a great job as a hockey analyst, don't you think? So anyway.
No, I don't.
Hey, what? So, Ovi, man.
Yep.
Ovi is amazing. Can he still skate?
Yes.
Really?
Yep. Only
Because-
34.
I thought he was 32. So
No, he's 34, and he wants to
34.
play all the time. He's always angry if they don't put him on the power play for the whole time.
That goal he scored in the first period, he sniped
He can
that.
still
I
shoot.
heard he knocked somebody's glove off.
He
huh?
can shoot. He can shoot. That's
It's
one
amazing.
good
no.
commie right there.
You saw him after they won the cup.
Oh, yeah.
And almost lighting himself on fire trying to cook a hamburger, drunk, singing
Hammered out of
songs.
his mind.
Singing songs and said, this guy got about a half a year left.
Yeah.
And he's led the league in scoring last year, and he's going to lead it. I mean, not in scoring, but in goals.
He's
And
joined
he's
the
gonna-
rare 700 goal
He's
club.
going to lead it again.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like as I said this before, he looks like one of those old Russian bad guys in wrestling. Back like one of the Kalmakov brothers.
Is he the guy with the weird pregame diet? Where did I read that?
Oh yeah, he does. It's a pasta joint.
he goes to gets a
in
big
DC.
spaghetti
Okay.
or something.
Oh, and doesn't he bring it with him like this huge amount for everybody who wants to eat
I'm
it?
gonna
or
see if I
something?
can find it.
Oh, it's an enormous meal, right?
Yeah.
He eats. He's like, fantastic. What a character, man. They always give baseball hell for not making enough out of, Trout and some of these guys. Judge, well, these guys don't have any personality. You could build your whole league around this guy.
All right, here we go. The Alexander Ovechkin. This is from Mama Luce.
Okay.
In the DC area. I found it. Okay, chicken parmesan, He also has salad, pasta, cheese, pizza, and red hot wings. That's apparently
Okay. And when does he take
Wow.
him to the stadium with him?
No,
or does
it
he
gets
eat it for
delivered.
lunch?
It gets delivered to the locker room before the game.
Well, he doesn't eat all of it.
Oh yeah, well that's what they're called. They're tagging it the Ovechkin pregame meal at Mama Lucci's.
So he's got hot wings
Oh yeah.
as part of it?
Well, he's got to get the system
How
going.
can he even move?
Well, he must share some of it with the boys,
You would think so.
because Nelson Cruz, brings in Spanish food for the whoever wants it, but mostly for the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans and the Venezuelans, and these guys come rolling in about 4:30 in the afternoon with this big this catering of Spanish food.
Down at spring
Of
training,
Mexican
he's doing
food.
this?
No, he does it in the
At
regular
home?
season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he does it down here, but he does it in the regular season. Although there were a couple of the Spanish speaking guys were eating some wild looking stuff a couple of days ago. I saw there. It's
Such, I know you can't see it, Pat, but here's the photo of it, Joe. He's got Pat with the chicken parmesan. There's 3 different plates of it. He gets 4 different sauces.
Yep.
He's got the Alfredo, the meat, the mushroom, and the marinara.
Yep.
I tell
Wow.
you, that's what sports is lacking today.
Characters. Yes.
Crazy SOBs, and this guy is one, man. That was the greatest. Forget the 1980 Olympics. That was the greatest celebration ever. Obi, damn near.
Lighten the grill.
Yes, right.
Well, did he do it with a bottle rocket?
No, he had poured gas on it.
Yeah, right. He didn't even have that squirter stuff
No.
we used to use and then run away. He just poured. Yeah, he poured lawnmower.
And you hear a
gas on
frightened
it.
female voice in the background.
Yes. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
His Russian wife is going straight to heaven.
Oh,
I'll tell
heavens,
you
yes,
that. She's, man alive, is that fun? That they would be the one team. By the way, our guy Zucker didn't take him long to ruin the Penguins, huh? They were like the hottest team in hockey. They won the first couple of games he was there. They won, and now they stink. They can't beat anybody.
Well, this had to put a dent in the Wild playoff hopes, didn't it?
I think they're still only like
Well,
3 points behind. Plus, we're big on those game on hands.
Games in hand,
Games
baby.
in hand. We were not games on hand. That's something else. A game in hand. Games in hand. So, anyway, But,
Are we? Can we put
are
an
they
end?
any good? Are they any good? Is our team any good?
No.
They could sneak in, though.
How about the new guy, the Gatling gun or whatever his name is?
Galchenyuk.
Yeah.
Well, he's had about 6 or 7 fresh starts. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if this is the
Fresh
answer.
start, huh? Yeah.
Can we put the fork in the Gophers for even the NIT now? I hope.
Well, they will have to get to 500 Reavers. They would have to they're 100 or 200.
2 now. But let me issue a little
Well,
public.
they'll lose to Indiana, and then they'll win against Nebraska. So they'd have to. No, they can't go to the NIT. But I don't think the NIT would take them anyway.
I don't think so either. But I need to issue a little bit of a public announcement here. Folks, it's not my fault that the kid from Lakeville that happens to share the same last name as me went to Wisconsin. Leave me alone on Twitter.
But he is a relative,
He is
right?
a distant
He's a distant cousin,
right?
but my God, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Why didn't you
Yeah,
tell him
wait
to
a
go
minute.
to the U?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
because he's got too much common sense. I think it's a disgrace to the Big Ten that Wisconsin has won 6 in a row. They aren't any good. They aren't any good.
Well, they're not
Reavers
bad.
is good. Reavers is good, and the kid that
The
got
point guard.
eligible, Potter's okay,
Yeah.
but Davison's mediocre. Pritzel or whatever his name is. He can. I don't know. It's the league is so overrated. It's unbelievable.
Did Heron even play in this week?
Yes, he did, but the last time I looked, he was like 63rd or something.
Well, I can't find his name. Your paper highlights the locals. They got Lehman highlighted in dark type, but not Heron. I don't find him even on the scoreboard.
Maybe he, unless he DNQ'd or unless he left because he wasn't playing good, but he was terrible early on. So I bet he played, and they just somebody was doing the scoreboard who was told that hey, when you put those locals in there, don't forget Lehman, but he'd never heard of Tim Aaron.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
I don't
Maybe
know.
that's it. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. Here it is. It wasn't highlighted.
Yeah.
Yeah, he beat about, I don't know, 12 players, 15 players.
Yeah, that's not much money.
That's $2,000.
By the way-
$2,880.
Now that you brought up golf,
Yeah.
I've always said I have no interest in the Mideast.
Yes.
I want to go to Oman. Did you see any of the European golf tournament?
Right on the crashing
Right there
ocean.
on the Indian Ocean.
Yes.
Really?
Beautiful thing.
Yes.
No troublemakers around.
No.
It's, man alive, is that gorgeous.
Are they safe from the coronavirus there, or can you get that?
No,
you might have
it's
to wear a
everywhere.
mask.
That's everywhere.
I think that it's at its worst in Iran, right?
Yep. Have the
But,
Twins made any coronavirus plans? I've asked you that before.
No, I think they're trying not to talk about it. I haven't really asked because I'm not terribly fearful, but it is going to be interesting because I mean, you were reading off those stats last week about all the other flus, but this one is getting so much more attention that they're probably going to. Hell, they're talking about having a spectator-free Olympics, for God's sake.
Yep.
So I think we just roll with it and see what happens.
I think that's all you can do.
Sure,
Wash your hands and-
most of us are going to get over it, and the death rate's going to get way below 2%. Because we're getting people old like me, and just keep it away from the infants, and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Well, Pat, I had suggested earlier on GL that it's like the lottery. You're either going to get it or you're not.
And don't drink that Corona beer, man.
Although Kelsey had a great idea. Corona should offer a free mask with every 12-pack of beer.
yeah.
That'll boost the stock back up.
Corona's
And
claiming that's false, by the way.
Is
Yes.
3M making money on the masks, or there's other outlets?
Well,
now, right?
Captain Pence on Saturday said we're going to get a lot more masks from 3M, and I was reading yesterday that a spokesman for 3M said we don't really have a contract with them, so we got to get to work on that, I guess.
Captain
Well,
Pence.
he took care of the. He took care of those players kneeling down in Indianapolis that day, and now he's going to solve us from the pandemic. So without mussing his hair up either, that's good. So,
College basketball coach. He looks like a college
Lute,
basketball coach.
Lute Olson.
Yeah.
He does
He
look
does
like Lute,
look like
doesn't he?
Lute.
But one
Yeah.
guy told me no. The guy he really looks like is Frank Drebner from the Leslie Nielsen.
He does.
Just like it. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, did you guys see the Twitter video of the city council member? I'm going to have to find out where. Went to the restroom and forgot to shut his house mic off.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it's spectacular. It's just like
Where's
you
he
hear him
from?
making funny noises?
oh yeah.
Where's he from?
And he's doing the grunt. It's on the East Coast, I believe, but I'll see if I can find it.
Did you guys see the tweet of the girl snowboarding being chased by a bear?
No.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question about that.
Where at?
I don't know, but
Well,
here's my
that's important.
But who filmed it is what I want to know.
She did. It was on a GoPro. It was a
What,
GoPro.
on a stick way out in
Yes,
front of her?
that was attached to her helmet.
Oh.
Because
So she probably went up there and taunted the bears.
no,
to
she didn't
get
even
a
know it was
good-
behind her.
The headline of the tweet, whoever tweeted it, said, "We will never know how many times throughout life God has taken care of you, and you didn't know it." And here's this girl oblivious
How
to
far
anything
is she
around her.
ahead of the bear?
Couple 100 yards, but you can hear the bear, and he's running as fast as he can.
So he wants dinner. Huh?
And then apparently the bear just gave up, and she never even knew what was behind her.
Good thing she was a good skier.
Oh my word! Oh my God!
Wow, that's I did not see that. No, you always wonder if those are phonies. But this
I
doesn't
thought it
look like-
was. I think it was because I just I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
So yesterday up at Port Charlotte, that's Rocco Baldelli's old stomping grounds. You know, when he was with the Rays, his entire baseball career had been either as a player or some kind of a coach with the Rays. So when he came back to talk to us before the game about noon, he'd been running. Mm-hmm. And that, the Port Charlotte, it's kind of it's carved out of the jungle there. So I said, so you got creatures back here? And he says, well, yeah, it's a reserve, basically a wildlife reserve back then. And I said, so the critters? He said, oh, yeah. He said, I jumped over an armadillo today, but he said there's usually, like, you see an alligator, you see stuff, you see snakes. So that'll make a guy run, won't it? That'll get
That's
him
good
jogging.
for running.
I said, how about pythons? He said, no pythons yet. So that's good.
All right,
But,
I just found it, Patrick. The mayor of Georgetown in the U.S. excused himself to
Georgetown, Kentucky, perchance?
I believe that is accurate.
Georgetown, Kentucky is I know there's a Georgetown, Kentucky.
He excused himself to go use the washroom in the middle of a meeting and forgot to switch off his mic.
These deadly infections, there's something we can do about it. And what we can do is call on governmental representatives that are higher up the chain.
Oh my God!
The whole city council panel is laughing.
And ask for action at the federal level.
Why doesn't the woman stop?
Pat, she's laughing so
my
hard
God.
she can't speak.
Oh my God!
I can't believe you guys didn't see that on
Did
Twitter.
the guy come back a bit embarrassed?
Well,
or
the
did
only
he-
the only video clip that I have is that 45 seconds. But I'm not. You're coming back. Oh, what I miss? You know?
Okay, play it again so we can be quiet now that I know what's coming. I want to
Okay,
hear this.
here we go. I'm going to pick it up from the beginning.
Yeah.
From last time, and I imagine he's going to hit some of the highlights here in a minute. But the thing is that these deadly infections, there's something we can do about it. And what we can do is call on governmental representatives that are higher up the chain of and ask for action at the federal level.
Now you know what, Joe. Next time Hill has you come in to speak, you can say yes. This year in 2020, we got a brand new fart button.
That first noise was unbelievable. What was the first noise? Was that
I
a
believe
warm up?
that was him, Pat.
Was that a warm up?
No, but the sound was like, I'm getting ready to do this now.
Oh my God! Oh, he was giving it the old preemptive grunt. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Gotcha.
right. Play the first noise. It's very interesting.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning.
Infections, there's something we can do about it. And
That
what we
one.
can do is
That
call on governmental representatives.
That one was unique, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
They're all
Mel,
pretty good.
Mel Brooks was like to had that one
Yeah.
to put around the
The reason
campfire.
I found it was someone had retweeted it and said Frank Drebin is alive and well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh man, that guy! Not only will he have to give up his office, he'll never be able to go out in public again. Right? He'll have to
if he's
just
smart, he'll play it up right.
He'll be a
Georgetown,
hero.
Kentucky.
Yes.
Yeah. What would the poster say? What would the
re-election
poster say?
poster?
Re-election poster saying.
It would
It'd
say
have to be something about gas.
breaking winds and breaking change.
Yeah, right.
How come I don't have this on the Twitters?
What do you mean?
Well, why can't I find this?
Oh my! I'll tag both of you in it
I gotta have this.
after the conclusion of the
Yeah.
show.
I bet that thing has 1 million hits.
Well, this is
by
I
now.
believe the original one, and this is about 750,000.
Oh, God, help me.
What a country.
Yep.
What a country. Unbelievable.
Oh. Pat, are you aware that Amy dropped out?
Oh, today, did
Yep,
she?
yep.
Even before Super Tuesday?
About an hour or so ago.
According to WTOP
So are they?
in
Did
Washington.
she endorse anybody?
Biden. She's actually
And-
flying to Atlanta today.
We're
Yeah.
trying to stop the crazy man, huh?
Yes.
Bernie.
Yep.
Who else? Pete dropped out, and who else? Somebody
Steyer.
else. Well, he was running at about 0.5%, right?
Yeah.
So, but did Pete didn't endorse anybody, did he?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
All right.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw this bulletin, though, over the weekend. The president, and I get most of my news, Pat, as you well know, from The Onion. And they have a headline that reads, Trump claims responsibility for longest Black History Month in 4 years.
I love that one.
Hey, was that Jack Brewer guy there that was kissing his butt at the end of
Is
the
that the
month?
Viking golfers?
Is that our guy?
I
don't
think
know.
it is. I think it
Is it?
is.
Is
Yeah.
it? Yeah, he was the. I don't know. He supposedly played in the NFL. So is that our guy?
It is
I
our
don't know if
guy.
it is.
I believe it
Wow.
is because I saw a bunch of stuff locally promoting that as well.
Well, okay for him. Okay, he's off my list.
Joe, you're not going to be able to find it. Stop looking at your phone.
It's so good. I can think of 10 people I got to send it to.
You always have been more. You've liked gas humor way better than me. You know that.
Well, it's not that I
I
like
don't-
yeah, I know
You
what you
find
mean.
it hysterical.
I do.
You find it
I
hysterical.
do. It just
yeah.
dates back to being a Catholic church, probably.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, the one we always remember is Mrs. Downey, who was one of our few lay teachers at St. Gabriel's, and she was getting on up in age.
Yep.
And one of our farm lads sounded a little like this. He basically fired off something that shook the whole room.
Yep.
And she turned around and said, "Who made that lip noise?" And that was a joke within us Catholic school attendees until we graduated from high school. Who made that lip noise?
Oh, that's great.
Mrs. Downey, God, she taught forever. She taught my parents damn near. So she was unbelievable. So you're still occupied doing that, huh?
No, I'm not
What else is-
occupied.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of Twitter, have you seen? I showed this to Joe earlier before Garage Logic today, Pat. You're familiar with Topgolf, how the Topgolfs are set up
Yes,
and whatnot?
yeah,
Have
yeah.
you seen the video of Mike Trout teeing off at Topgolf?
No, did he hit it away?
Joe, why don't you describe the
Can't-
shot?
Well, Pat, he when he gets the club back, it damn near touches the ground on his backswing.
Okay.
He way past parallel. And he
Okay.
brings it around, and he hit it, and it instantly went out of sight. There's not a
Okay.
chance in hell it stayed anywhere near the netting. It flew the netting and hit, banged somebody's car a mile away.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God.
I
He
retweeted
takes
it, Pat.
the big hack. Huh?
So someone had done had broke down the analytics of the shot.
Mm-hmm.
The netting, Joe, is 225 feet away from where he's positioned.
Yeah.
And it's 150 feet tall.
Well, he hit
225 yards.
Or,
not
I'm sorry, yeah,
225
you're right. I'm
feet.
sorry, yeah.
He hit that 425 yards.
Well, it's funny because most of those great hitters can't play golf.
Yeah.
You know, most of them are like Puck couldn't hit. You know, Puck could hit a fastball over his head and rocket it down the right field corner. He couldn't hit a golf ball out of the room.
Hockey players can hit the golf
Oh,
ball.
hockey players, they get everybody. I've always asked that, and they say the same motion. You know, shooting a lot of the same motion when you're shooting a puck. And
Well, what did TK always tell us, Pat, when he joined us on the ride? What's that little white ball? It's just sitting there.
Yeah, right. That's true. But he became an addict. You know, he plays it all the time. It's funny. He didn't play it, I don't think, till he's about 40, and he ended up now he plays it every day to ruin his life. When
Well,
not
it was
in the
Mock's.
winter
It
or
was Mock's passion.
Oh God, yes. Old time baseball players played it all.
Yeah.
A lot of baseball habits aren't the same. I told you the dog track here's this is their last year, and players, even in TK's era, 80s, 90s, they used to go out there in droves to the dog track, and I haven't heard a player talking about being at the dog track in 20 years. I don't think.
Wow.
Really?
They don't do that anymore. Don Zimmer, I mean, he lived there.
But they're closing her up. I know just where that thing is.
Yep, they apparently the Florida voters voted it out, and not anymore. But the they loved gambling so much, horses and dogs and everything. The famous Don Zimmer story is Pod had a heart attack. Johnny Podgers had a heart attack during the season, and he was I think he was home then. I don't think he was coaching, and Zimmer was in Montreal, and Pod was in Glen Falls, New York, which is semi-upstate New York. But it's about a 4-hour drive, and Zim got up early one morning to drive down to see Pod, to see how, because they're big buddies from the old Dodger days. And he walks into the room, and Pod's recovering from his heart attack, and the first thing he does is say, "Hey, take this down to the OTB and bet on these, the off-track betting. Not hello, not hey, thanks for coming, Zim." He said, "I knew you were coming. Take this down to the OTB and bet on, make these 4 bets." So they were, they were addicted to horse and dog gambling, and they don't do much of it anymore.
With the boys in Jupiter, is there anybody around there today working out?
I guess they were earlier today. I wasn't here, but they supposedly had a good batting practice session, and there were a lot of people here. Like, I guess there was some kind of a public picnic going on or something. There were a lot of people here when I first came, but I think I'm about the only one here now. I haven't seen any of the scribes around, but I suppose a couple of them made the trip to Jupiter.
You'll be coming home?
Yeah, I'll be coming home one of these next days.
All right.
I'm just getting tired of it down here, and there's a family obligation that I should probably take care of.
Hey, now wait a minute.
Plus, I got to see the kids. I got to see the grandkids close out the Woodbury hockey season.
I was just going to say, you'll be home just in time to cover the Minnesota State High School hockey tournament this weekend.
It's funny, for like 30 years, I always time my spring training to miss the hockey tournament, and now I'm coming home for the hockey tournament.
Was that Jinx grandkid of yours in the ballpark last night? Luke?
No, he's been down in Florida on the other coast, and so he cannot. He could. We were blaming the winning streak on him not being around, and we can't blame him for this loss. Well, way too many goals for him to have been there.
Right.
Our boy scored 3. That's more than he's seen in his life. So
they have Nashville tomorrow night. Then they got that West Coast
That's a big
swing.
game because Nashville is 8th right now, and I think they're only 3 points ahead of them.
Yeah.
But they got games in hand. I was looking today. They got lots of games in hand.
Well, that, and I think they're playing, outside of last night, because Washington's good, but they're playing better. They, who did they just smoke the other night, Joe? Oh, the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, they did. They won big over Detroit, won big over the Blue Jackets. I don't know.
I guess this new coach is as dull as it can possibly be, huh?
Well,
Emerson, he doesn't have any boods in him, huh?
No,
He's not a quipster at all.
It doesn't appear to be a quipster.
Wasn't he a tough guy when he played? Was he a tough guy?
I have no idea.
Never heard of him. Yeah. I'd never heard of him.
Well, he had a decent
this.
career, I believe.
Well, the funny thing is, Boudreaux brought him in, so obviously the Guerin has somebody else in mind for the long term. That otherwise he wouldn't have fired him, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway,
why don't we talk to you tomorrow, lad? No, we're going to talk to you Thursday
or Friday usually.
Friday,
are you taking Friday off?
We might take the rare mayoral Friday.
Well, it's Lent.
Yeah.
It's Lent. You got to, Fridays, you warm up for Good Friday by really doing good stuff on the other Fridays, right?
Yeah, sure.
Boy, did I have a nice big meal of meat on Ash Wednesday. I got Lent off to a flying start. I ate like I had barbecue sauce all over my face when I saw somebody with a smudge on their head and said, "Oh hell, we're 0 for 1 already on this. We're already 0 for 1 on this Lent." So,
yeah, but you're excused from by the age deal.
I am. How?
You can have meat.
If you're over what, 70?
I think it's 65 or something.
65. Okay. Okay. Well, thanks.
The best was a couple of years ago. We were all enjoying some wonderful pizza in the old producer's room, and Pat saw somebody come in with a smudge, and he dropped his plate and went, bleep.
Yeah.
Well, I still don't think, as I said, when you get to the pearly gates, and they said, you lived a very honorable life, but you ate meat on Friday twice, so you're going to hell.
Take a left.
You're going to hell, buddy. I don't think that's
the part I love about
it
is it's not a sacrifice for me to eat fish.
No,
I love it. Yeah.
I prefer the fish.
Yes.
But
Wednesday, she made this wonderful scallop dish. Are you kidding me? What a sacrifice.
I got to ask you, though, what's the concept? Why are we doing this? What's the idea?
To eat fish?
Yeah, fish is great, but why are we doing this?
In all seriousness, the story I've always heard is it dates back to the medieval times when the popes had brothers in the fishing business and they were trying to stir up the business.
Oh, that could have been it.
Yeah.
That could have been it.
Yeah.
But, of course, you and I are both old enough to remember it was year-round.
Oh, that's right.
52 weeks a year. You couldn't
On
eat
Friday.
fish on Friday.
That's
yes.
right.
Which was okay for
No,
me.
you couldn't
because
eat meat on Friday.
Couldn't eat meat on Friday.
We had
Yeah,
those
you couldn't
crummy
eat.
fish sticks that were fish swept off the floor of some company, and they packed them together as fish sticks.
Hey, my old man would go buy frozen lobster tails, which are
Yeah, what a
probably not
sacrifice.
well, were not exactly lobsters. They were probably like,
Were
I
they
don't know.
above or below the frozen ones Rook brought from the dollar store when we did that live remote?
God.
Look at this, Rook says, fresh
So
out
have
of the
we
Gulf.
announced Rook's new status or not? Have we talked about
Well,
that?
we've
Or are we gonna-
intimated that he's working for the TSA.
I hope he knows that he can't like prank some old lady when she gets there and say, "Oh, ma'am, we can't let you through. You got to go back to the end of the line," and stuff. How's he going to resist? How's he going to change all those years of behavior
Well, he's lasted
and
this long.
act serious?
Yeah.
This is serious business.
Well, we wondered aloud earlier, Pat, if he's going to get the Barney Fife gun, one bullet.
I wouldn't even let him have one. No. He'll shoot himself in the foot.
Wow. Unbelievable. All right.
Yes, sir.
We'll do this again someday.
Yes, we will.
Yep. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We're into March here, so you might be springing ahead, thinking about spring. Well, that back patio at Jack's Cafe is probably going to be greening up in no time, which I want to remind you right now, Easter's around the corner. Mother's Day is around the corner. What a great time to take mom or the family out for brunch. Jack's Cafe can accommodate, and you're going to have a great time. I can guarantee you. Now, Jack's Cafe is 3 generations of family members that have run. Billy's doing a great job right now. He wants me to remind you, if you have a wedding coming up, maybe the groom's dinners, they can accommodate your whole dysfunctional family. They do a wonderful job, and the ambiance, second to none. So, do yourself a favor and make your reservations early if you're going to go to brunch or have a family get-together, or maybe even your Christmas party toward the end of the year. 612-789-7297. 612-789-7297. If you're just going out and about for date night, don't forget about the Rookie VIP date night menu. It is a 4-course meal with a bottle of wine for less than $100. You're not going to be disappointed. Tell them that the Rookie sent you online at jaxcafe.com. And again, that telephone number, 612-789-7297. Jack's Cafe in Northeast Minneapolis. You can't go wrong when you call them. Don't forget to tell them you heard it on the Garage Logic podcast, jaxcafe.com.
Ricey here for my friend, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. I've been telling you about Josh Arnold for several years because Josh is my investment advisor. I recommend him to anyone looking for straight talk and sound advice. Josh won't give you sugar-coated answers to important questions. He makes it his mission to help people like me and you achieve the financial position needed for a secure future. For a no-obligation 48-minute consultation, call 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Call Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, today and set up your 48-minute no-obligation consultation and get the personal attention you deserve. Call 952-925-5608. Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk.
Investment advisor services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a registered advisor in the state of Minnesota. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. It's crazy to think that a few weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should consider retiring. After 2 concussions and worldwide debates on player safety and NFL culpability, Tua has done nothing but go back to work and currently has the Dolphins riding a 3-game win streak and 1 loss behind the division favorite Buffalo Bills. While everyone was yapping about the end of his career, Tua Tagovailoa said he'll decide when it's time. And clearly, he's not ready to hang up the cleats. Hi, this is Chris Howard from the Plugged In with Chris Howard podcast. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting, up-to-the-minute scores for the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB playoffs, the start of the NHL season, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.